am so excited because I finally got it. I got the Nars Light Reflecting Foundation, and it came with a free light reflecting setting powder. This is the pressed version from Nars. I was really torn. I didn't know if I wanted to get this new Nars one or the new Charlotte Tilbury one that's kind of a similar hydrating type of foundation. And I ended up going with this one because it's supposed to have skincare type ingredients and it's supposed to help your skin over time. And especially for dry skin, which I have right now, I really needed a new foundation that didn't just cling to all my dry patches. So I ordered this. It officially launched a couple days ago on the 14th. Before that, you could order it early through the Sephora app on the 12th. And then obviously like beauty influencers and people like that got PR back closer to the new year. But I just got mine, so I hope it's not too late for a review. I'm so excited to use this. I haven't seen as many people using this as the Charlotte Tilbury one, so hopefully this is still good, but let's get into actually applying it. Always gotta put the hair up when we're foundationing. So I got the shade Medium 1.2 Patagonia. I have no idea what shade I am. All I know is that typically I get my shade way too light and then I look ridiculous. So I went a little bit deeper than I thought I had to. And then the powder is translucent, of course, so this won't really matter. But let me get my foundation brush. The packaging, as always, is beautiful. Nars always is a very luxurious and nice experience. I love Nars. I think that complexion-wise, they have some of the best products around. And this is what we're dealing with. It's a nice weighty glass bottle, and I actually think that this shade is okay for me. We'll see once we put it on, but this is shocking because I never get my shade right when I order it online, but this is looking promising. Instructions for use, it just says to shake well, apply a small amount starting in the center of the face and blend outwards, avoid direct contact with eyes. So really no information except just to shake it, probably because it's very liquidy and it has skincare and everything that needs to mix all up in there. Let's see what we can find, shall we? So on the website it says skin in its best light. See your skin in its best light with the light reflecting foundation. This innovative blend of makeup and skincare instantly blurs imperfections, smooths the look of textured skin, and helps conceal blemishes, dark spots, and redness. Visibly improves skin's clarity after 6 weeks of daily use, even after makeup is removed. So again, this is supposed to be like skincare and help your skin improve over time. We'll have to see about that. I'm skeptical about that part, but we'll see. Suitable for most skin types, medium buildable coverage with a natural finish, breathable all day wear, 36 shades, makeup that looks like skin, acts like skincare, feels light as air. I mean, does anything sound better than that as far as foundation goes? I don't think so. Let's get to the good part, which is actually putting this on my face. So online, I watched their videos on Nars.com, and everyone in the advertisement was putting it on with their fingers. So I think I'm gonna do this half of my face with my fingers, and then this half I have a foundation brush. I did not put on any primer, and I won't be doing any setting spray because we're just testing out this foundation. So it may look a little bit more pory. Is that a word? I don't think so. My pores might be emphasized a little bit more than usual just because I'm not using a primer, because I really want to test out the foundation itself. But let's start. I'm gonna put some on the back of my hand. Okay, that's 2 pumps. And I'm just gonna start with this side. It is really, really lightweight. It kind of does smell like skincare. I mean, it kind of smells like makeup too, but it definitely has that skincare smell to it, that fancy skincare smell. Okay, so I used about half of what was on the back of my hand, and I would say I got very, very light coverage. So I'm gonna go ahead with my brush and do the other side of my face, but yeah, you're definitely gonna need more than 2 pumps if you want decent coverage, because right now this kind of just looks like a skin tint. Okay, that actually blended in really nicely with my foundation brush, and I would say I definitely got more coverage with the foundation brush. I'm gonna go in and finish the rest of my face because, again, this side is more like light coverage right now, and this one I would say is highlight coverage, and I haven't done my forehead yet, so definitely need more than 2 pumps. I'm gonna do my whole face with this brush because I don't think my fingers, they didn't do a bad job, but the brush definitely looks better and looks softer. This also is a pretty pricey foundation. I think it's because it does have that skincare in there. That is probably why it's more pricey, but it was $49. That's a pricey foundation for sure. I'm expecting high things from this. I'm expecting really good things because that's really pricey. Here's 1 coat over my entire face that took about 3-ish pumps, and this is a light coat. It's not very full coverage at this point. I definitely need to build it up more, but it is looking nice. So I'm basically just gonna keep going and pumping a little bit onto my brush and then blending it out just because I want more coverage. I think that is nice though, that you can really shear this out if you wanted to. Like if you wanted to just apply it with your fingers, you could. It looks completely fine. I just like the way that it looks with the brush better than my fingers, and I don't want to put this on a sponge because I feel like that'll really soak up this product because it's so liquidy, and I don't want to do that. I mean, it's $49, honey. We're getting every last drop of this out and using it. The shade is definitely looking nice as well. I think I could have gone a little bit darker, but it's really not noticeable. Not even darker so much as I feel like this is much more yellow than my skin tone. Maybe it's not, and maybe I'm crazy, but I do feel like this is just a little bit more yellow than I am. When I was trying to pick out my shade, that's the only thing I really had trouble with, was they seemed a lot more yellow than I actually am. It's a little difficult to pick out a shade, but that happens to me with a lot of different brands. Okay, that's about 5 pumps. So that is 1 pump. Definitely not a lot comes out at once, so it's not like you're getting these huge pumps of foundation, but this is my 6th pump. I would say after this, I should be pretty well into the high medium coverage area, so you do have to use quite a bit to get to that desired level. This is what my complexion is looking like. I would say I probably have about 2 to 2.5 layers everywhere on my face. I think it's looking nice. I do look a little bit dry, but first of all, I used a brush and that always makes me look dry. If I go over it with a damp sponge, it'll probably look better, so I might go do that. And then also I didn't use any setting spray. I didn't use any primer, so no smoothing, no moisturizing, no pore filling primer. And I think considering all of that, it looks really nice. And it's definitely just a natural finish. Everywhere that I usually have dew has dew, and everywhere I'm usually matte is matte. So I think that it really is just a natural looking foundation. It does look a lot like skin. It looks very light. It feels lightweight, and it's a little sticky right now, so we'll have to see if it sets down by itself. I'm wondering if I go in now with a dampened sponge and just press everything into my face, if it'll make it look a little bit less dry. So I'm gonna go do that and I will be right back. So I have my dampened sponge and I'm just going to press this into the skin and see if this helps. Not that it really looks cakey at all, but again, I didn't prep my face in any way, so a little bit textured. Looks a little bit dry. Of course, in the future, when I'm not testing this out, I would prep my skin, so I don't think I would have a problem. I just wanted to see what it was like on its own, no help from any other product. I definitely think that's the way to go. I think that my complexion is looking a lot more smooth now, so I'm actually very pleased with this. I think it looks like I did put on a hydrating primer or something. I look just as hydrated as I normally do. So let's go in with some concealer and see how that lays on top. This is gonna be the Hourglass Vanish Concealer. I do have the Nars concealer. I can't find it, which is curious to me because I haven't moved it. I don't think. I really don't know. But we're just gonna let this sit for a minute so I can get all the help with the bags under my eyes as I can get. I think this has sat for enough time, so let me go blend out the concealer and then we'll do the powder after. I don't know if I'm gonna put powder on my entire face because I wanna see how it lasts without the powder, but we'll definitely put it on the under eyes and maybe the cheeks, we'll have to see. All right, concealer layered really nicely over that. There's No texture, no flaking, no dryness, nothing. Now, let's go into the setting powder. This is the light reflecting setting powder, the pressed version. So this does not have a shade, it's just translucent. I think the loose ones are the ones that have the shades, but this one is just gonna be translucent, and I can't get it out of the box. There we go. This packaging is super cute and tiny. It is a mini tester size, so obviously if you got a regular one and you purchased it, it would be a fuller size. It's not going to be this little all the time. This is just what they're giving out for free with the purchase of the $49 foundation, so I don't know how free it really is. I do have a clean Tati Beauty puff here. I think I'm going to do one side with the puff, and then I'm going to do one side with a brush, and then if it's looking cakey or powdery or anything, I'll probably go over it with a sponge, but I'm just going to apply it how I would typically apply powder. So I'm just going to do a little swirl. Ooh, it kind of is glittery if you look at it in the right light. It's sparkly, like a sheen. Not that there's like glitter or anything, but there's definitely a sheen. But let me put this under my eyes. No powder with powder. No powder with powder. I'm not really seeing that much of a difference. I mean, it definitely looks matte, but it doesn't really look that much different. Maybe just a tad more matte and tad more dry than this side. But other than that, I'm really not seeing any difference, I don't think. So, all right, let's go in with a brush on this side. Gonna swirl on in there and just go like this. I actually think that it applied better with the brush than it did with the puff. It's just looking less textured with a brush. There's not that much of a difference, but it is looking less textured. Let's go in with a sponge on both sides now. So I'm gonna just swirl around in here. You can slightly see it coming up on the sponge. It's like, it's a translucent powder, so it's super light. You can barely see it. And let's push that into the skin. We're gonna do the other eye as well. All right, so I have the powder on my under eyes. I don't see the light reflecting part. I think it kind of just looks like regular powder, like it just sets your face. I don't see, I mean, in the pan it looks like there's a sheen, but I'm not seeing that on my face. Okay, I see some glitter particles on the back of my hand. There's a sheen, and then it's also, I see glitter, but it's very, very subtle, especially in the lighting I have going on right now. It's extremely subtle, but there is a slight sheen. So you know what? Let's put some more on my face and see if that sheen really comes out. So I'm gonna go ahead and set my entire face. It's a little bit sticky, nothing bad. The foundation is not like heavy or cakey. See, now I'm torn because I want to see how it lasts without powder, but I also want to see what the powder looks like. What do I do? All right, maybe I'll just powder my cheeks, and then at least we can see how it wears on the forehead and the nose and everything. But I'm gonna go in, swirl, 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 and we'll just do the cheeks so we can really tell about this powder as well. I poked myself in the eye with my brush and now it's red and it hurts. But anyways, this is what the foundation is looking like. I think it looks really nice. I set it over here, so obviously it's not going to be tacky anymore. The forehead is the slightest bit tacky, like barely any. I think that maybe within 10 minutes or so, this will dry down completely and kind of self-set. So I don't even know if you need a powder. I think the powder is fine. I'm not really seeing any type of sheen. I do see a little bit of a glitter particle on the back of my hand after I just swatched it, but it's really pretty unnoticeable. It's more just like a powder, in my opinion. It's not a bad powder, but I don't think you're gonna get a huge amount of glow or anything. I think there's just some sparkles in there. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna finish up my makeup and let it sit for a couple hours, and then I will see you guys back here. I cannot believe how well this foundation is lasting. It's been a long time. I think it's been about 6 hours and it still looks just as good as when I put it on. I'm really, and my hair is still doing that weird thing even though it's been 6 hours. I'm really impressed. I think that this is a gorgeous foundation. It really does look like your skin. It's super lightweight. You can't feel anything on your face. It doesn't feel sticky. It doesn't grab to dry patches. It's expensive. I'm not gonna say it's not because it is pricey, but I do really like it. I kind of wanted to not like it just because it was so expensive, but I think Nars did a really good job. Yeah, I think Nars did a really good job on this one. It just looks so natural and it feels lightweight. It doesn't feel like I have anything on my face, which is really one of the nicest parts of this because I hate sticky makeup. I hate when you can feel, even if it's just lipstick, like a matte lipstick or a heavy foundation or whatever it may be, I hate when you can feel like stickiness on your skin. Even when I put on too much lotion on my hands and my hands are sticky, I hate that. So I'm thoroughly impressed because this feels like I have nothing on my face. It doesn't look cakey or makeup-y literally at all. I do think that I need a little bit of a darker shade. I feel like it matches my face fine, but my neck and my décolleté area is a little bit tanner than my face. So maybe I would pick up a darker shade, but I don't even think I'm going to. This is a home run for me. I literally have no complaints. The powder, however, I don't think that the powder is bad. I just can't really tell much of a difference with it or without it. I mean, it did set my under eyes pretty nicely and they're not really creasing any more than they usually do, but I have other powders. I don't think it's necessary to buy this powder. I think if you are in need of a translucent setting powder and you're interested, I think it's fine. I just don't think it's anything to rave about, but let me know down below if you want me to do another wear test using primer, setting spray, and then using the powder again as well in natural lighting. Thank you so much for being here. If you liked this video, if you liked my content, please check out some more on my channel. I have a lot of videos there for you to enjoy. And again, leave me comments down below of anything you want to see regarding this foundation or the powder or literally anything. Just let me know and I will be sure to do another video and update you guys in the future. Thank you, and I will see you in my next video.